You were never designed to break under pressure. You were built to endure, to rise, and to dominate. But strength is not a gift, it's a habit. And until you learn the patterns that produce power, life will keep pushing you around. It's time to fight back, not with fists, but with principles. In a world shaking with uncertainty, only those who are rooted in discipline, vision, and inner strength will remain standing. Today, I'm going to show you 8 life-transforming habits that will make you strong, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and completely unshakable, not by accident, but by design. You don't wake up with strength, you build it before the sun rises. Every morning is not just another routine start, it is a sacred opportunity to shape your identity, fuel your mind, and anchor your spirit. Strength is not something you find by accident, it is something you cultivate with intention. And the earlier you rise to meet your purpose, the more dominion you gain over the chaos of life. Winners don't stumble into greatness, they schedule it. They prepare for it. They rise before the noise begins, before the world starts placing demands on their time, and they create a space where they meet with the one who wrote their purpose before they were even born. You were not created to drift through life. You were made to dominate your day, not be dominated by it. But domination begins with discipline. Purpose is not an emotional high, it is a spiritual habit, and every habit is built one decision at a time. You must decide day after day to begin your morning not by reacting to the world, but by aligning yourself with the creator of it. When you wake up and the first thing you do is reach for your phone, you've already handed your mind to the world. But when you rise with focus, when you enter the quiet place and open your heart to hear from God, you are building spiritual muscle that cannot be shaken by fear, delay, or disappointment. The strongest people are not necessarily the loudest, the richest, or the most connected. The strongest people are the ones who start each day with clarity. People who know why they are alive and who they answer to. They don't run on caffeine and chaos. They run on conviction. They walk with an awareness that every day carries eternal weight. They understand that their time is not a toy, it's a tool. They don't waste their mornings, they worship through them. And in that worship, strength is born. In that seeking, strategy is downloaded. In that stillness, direction is confirmed. Purpose brings order. Purpose filters distractions. Purpose tells you what to say yes to, and more importantly, what to say no to. A person who starts the day with purpose will never bow to panic, because their peace is not attached to circumstances. It's anchored in calling. When everyone else is scrambling, they're standing. When others are wandering, they're building. When the world is loud, they are grounded. And that kind of strength doesn't come from hustle, it comes from heaven. So if you want to become unshakable, you must become unmovable in your morning. Make it non-negotiable, even if it's just 15 minutes. Take that time, claim that space, and protect that ritual. You cannot be casual with your calling. You cannot be random with your routine. Strength begins in the spirit. And every day you wake up and choose purpose over panic, intention over impulse, God over everything, that's the day you win. That's the day you rise. Stillness is not weakness, it is strategy. In a world addicted to movement, where noise is constant and motion is glorified, we've confused busyness with progress and noise with importance. But the truth is, the most powerful people are not those who shout the loudest. They are the ones who have mastered the quiet, the ones who can retreat into silence without fear, the ones who don't panic when everything else around them is shaking. Stillness is not the absence of activity, it is the presence of clarity. It is the internal posture of someone who refuses to let the chaos outside control the calm inside. You must learn the habit of silence, not as a momentary escape, but as a permanent strategy. Because when everything is pulling at you, news, noise, notifications, opinions, pressure, you must protect your center like your life depends on it. Why? Because it does. A person who does not learn to be still will eventually be overwhelmed, overstimulated, and overrun by everything that demands their attention. But when you can sit still, even when your circumstances scream for action, you are not being passive, you are being powerful. You are reclaiming control. You are choosing to respond rather than react. You are choosing to listen before you speak, to observe before you move, to discern before you decide. Stillness is where vision is born. It is where direction becomes clear. It is where wisdom speaks. That's why the enemy of your soul wants to keep you distracted, because he knows that if you ever sit still long enough, you'll start hearing things that change everything. You'll hear truth. You'll hear purpose. You'll hear God. The noise is not random. It is designed to drown out your destiny. But you have a choice. You can either be consumed by the noise, or you can master the stillness. The strongest leaders, the most unshakable people, are not those who are busy 24/7. They are the ones who have created space to think, space to breathe, space to reconnect with what matters. And in that space, they draw strength that no storm can steal. When you can sit in stillness and not lose your mind, not reach for a distraction, not beg for validation, you become unshakable, because you have learned how to stand still and let strength rise from within. Stillness is not a luxury, it is a lifeline, it is a discipline, and yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first. Your mind will scream, your fingers will twitch, your heart will race to go do something. But if you push past the discomfort, you'll find the gold. You'll find clarity where confusion used to live. You'll find peace that no money can buy. You'll find resilience that doesn't come from hustle, but from harmony. Master the power of stillness, and nothing, no stress, no storm, no struggle will be able to move you. You will walk in strength, speak with wisdom, and stand with a peace that passes all understanding. Life and death are not just physical realities. They are verbal realities. They sit on the edge of your tongue, waiting to be released into the atmosphere. You don't just describe your life with your words, you direct it. You frame your future with your phrases. That's why strong people don't just talk, they prophesy. They don't echo the chaos around them, they declare the vision within them. You see, the weak speak from emotion, but the strong speak from conviction. The weak repeat what they heard, but the strong declare what they believe. If you want to live a life that's grounded, focused, and powerful, you cannot afford to let careless words flow freely from your lips. You've got to speak like every syllable is building your tomorrow, because it is. A person who speaks life refuses to narrate negativity. They don't use their voice to magnify fear or fuel doubt. Instead, they use it to stir up faith. They build with every word, brick by brick, truth by truth, promise by promise. They understand that words create culture, and culture shapes reality. You will never rise higher than the language you live by. You cannot walk in power while confessing weakness. You cannot expect breakthrough while rehearsing bondage. Every time you say, I can't, you build a wall around your potential. Every time you say it's impossible, you lock the door to opportunity. But when you start to say, I will, I am, I can, God is able, this too shall pass, greater is he that is in me, suddenly the atmosphere begins to shift. Your heart rises, your spirit steadies, your focus returns. That is the power of life-giving speech. There's a reason the enemy attacks your voice, because he knows if he can silence your declaration, he can sabotage your destiny. He wants you to stay silent when you should speak up, to doubt when you should declare, to murmur when you should prophesy, but not anymore. You've got to break that cycle. You've got to take authority over your mouth and command it to line up with your mission. That means refusing to repeat the words of defeat that were spoken over you. That means breaking agreement with every lie and replacing it with truth. That means choosing to speak hope even when your heart is heavy, because strength doesn't begin in the body, it begins in the spirit, and it is released through your words. You don't need more motivation, you need a new confession. The power isn't in the noise around you, it's in the voice within you. So speak life when it's easy and when it's not. Speak it when you're tired. Speak it when you feel like giving up. Speak it when nothing looks like it's working. Keep speaking until your words match your worth. Keep speaking until the world around you reflects the world within you. Don't just live strong, speak strong. Because your words will go where your feet have never been, and they will prepare the way for the life you were born to live. Fear is a terrorist. It doesn't ask permission, it doesn't play fair, and it doesn't wait for the right moment. It comes to paralyze, to silence, to suffocate. And if you let it linger, it will dominate every decision, every relationship, every opportunity meant to elevate your life. But here's the truth. Fear only has authority where there is no discipline of faith. Faith is not a feeling, it's a muscle. It's not something you wait for, it's something you train. Every time you allow fear to sit at the table of your decision making, you give it a vote on your destiny. And what you tolerate, you will eventually live with. You can't conquer what you keep coddling. There comes a moment in every life where you must decide, either I will live submitted to the voices of fear, or I will rise in obedience to the call of courage. Strength is not some mythical force reserved for the special. It's a product of relentless confrontation. You gain strength when you refuse to run. When you stare that diagnosis, that rejection, that uncertainty, that silence right in the face and say, you will not dictate my decisions. Fear feeds on delay. The more you wait, the louder it grows. The more you analyze, the more you paralyze. You don't break fear by waiting for perfect peace. You break it by acting in spite of the noise. You speak what needs to be said, even when your voice shakes. You take the leap, even when your knees tremble. You show up, even when you're not sure who will stand with you. That's the habit of strength. And don't you dare apologize for being bold. Don't apologize for taking up space, for walking in purpose, for saying yes to a vision others are too afraid to pursue. The world may label your boldness as arrogance, but that's only because they're uncomfortable with conviction. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't called to walk the safe path. Playing small doesn't protect you, it imprisons you. The chains of fear are not physical, they are mental and emotional. But the moment you stop negotiating, the moment you stop entertaining the lies of what if, you begin to walk in a power that cannot be shaken. You were not built to be fragile. You were built with divine design, and no storm, no setback, no enemy has the authority to cancel what God has already ordained. But you must rise, you must speak, you must move. Don't wait for the fear to disappear. Decide now to act in defiance of it, because the ones who change the world aren't those who feel the least fear. They're the ones who refuse to let it lead. So today, let the fear come, but let it find you immovable, unshakable, and fully surrendered to the voice of faith. You've negotiated with fear long enough. Now it's time to evict it and take your territory back. A seed is only as strong as the soil it's planted in. It doesn't matter how much potential it carries, how great its design is, or how divine its destiny may be. If you drop it in poisoned soil, it dies. And that's the painful truth about many lives today. It's not that they lack vision or purpose or even power. It's that they are surrounded by conditions that choke their calling. You cannot grow in a place that constantly reminds you of your limits. You cannot thrive in an atmosphere filled with fear, doubt, and distraction. And if you want to be unshakable, you must begin by protecting your environment like your life depends on it, because it does. You were not created to survive in chaos. You were created to steward peace. And the moment you recognize that your surroundings have influence over your spirit, you begin to guard your space with wisdom and intentionality. This is not about arrogance or pride. It's about survival. Stop inviting people into your garden who only come to trample the soil. Stop giving access to those who can't handle your growth. You are not responsible for keeping toxic people comfortable. You are responsible for protecting your calling. And sometimes that means making hard decisions, cutting off distractions, walking away from dysfunction, creating distance from drama. There are voices that drain you and voices that develop you. There are atmospheres that deplete you and atmospheres that deposit into you. Learn the difference. Choose wisely. If your peace evaporates every time someone enters the room, that's not a relationship, that's a red flag. And if the conversations you entertain leave you feeling smaller, not stronger, then it's time to change the dialogue or change the company. Your emotional environment shapes your mental environment, and your mental environment shapes your decisions. Over time, your decisions shape your destiny. Don't apologize for protecting your atmosphere. Don't explain your standards to people who benefit from your compromise. Some people liked you better weak, silent, confused, because you were easier to control. But God didn't call you to please people. He called you to fulfill purpose. And to do that, you must surround yourself with light, with order, with voices that see your value and speak to your vision. You must choose places that challenge you to grow, not shrink. Choose voices that correct you in love, not manipulate you in fear. Choose environments where your future feels possible, not laughable. The right environment will stir your spirit, stretch your mind, and awaken your potential. The wrong one will suffocate your confidence, blur your identity, and bury your purpose. That's not just inconvenience, that's warfare. And if you're serious about becoming unshakable, you must become ruthless about what you allow around you. This is your life, your destiny, your legacy. Protect it like it's sacred, because it is. The atmosphere you choose today is the future you create tomorrow. So stand guard, set standards, and never again let someone else's chaos cost you your calling. You don't need more followers, more applause, or more luck. You need more alignment. Strength is not what you lift, it's what you live. These habits are not just tips, they are truths that transform. Build them, live them, and no matter what comes, storm, struggle, betrayal, or loss, you will not be shaken. You were born to be strong. Now, go live like it.